Hi, Anthony here, West Coast Custom Concrete, the best in the West. This will be a pump video on my Laguna Beach job. There's a cove down the hill from where I'm working at that I go to every day after work. Here's the streets driving in there. I'm showing you how tight this is. This place is a logistic nightmare as far as getting up there. There's nowhere to turn around at the end of the street. You have to back out. I could turn my pump around, but I had to wiggle it like about 5 or 6 times to 10-point turn to get it out of there. The nobody will deliver the block. You have to bring them in a little small bobtail. The cement trucks have to back up this street, and then we're blocking the street so nobody can get by or out while we're pumping. And they're pretty adamant about wanting to get by, but we just don't move. No job in Laguna Beach is easy. The degree of difficulty on every one of them is just uphill or downhill, one or the other. These are the footings I dug with the conveyor belt. I'm pumping the concrete in them today. It's about 23 yards, I think, or 20 yards. It's a couple loads, but they can only carry 8 yards up the hill because it's so steep up the canyon hill to get up to the street that they got to back up it and then head back out. I'll be doing a video of this wall when I build it, and I'll show how I bent all the number five. I bent it all on site. I'll be pumping this today. There's a string line for my elevation in there. I'll just pump it. It's so steep. You got to pump it at about a 4.5, because you got to sag it so it doesn't sag on that hill. It's pretty steep both sides. After I pumped this footing, I went to Los Angeles for 4 days, and I stamped a driveway and some stairs and entryway. I'll be showing that video. And I have one on a mini S70 again. Everyone seemed to like that mini, so I'll have a mini Bobcat video coming up. Here's the first truck. He's got to back up because you can't head in. I'm going to pump this down. I'm going to pump it pretty stiff. I'm just priming it out with water, but I'm pumping it probably a 4.5. Because, like I was saying, I got to stack it on that hill. Otherwise, it'll just run down it. Javier's my man. He'll grab the hose. So I get down there. I just primed it out. I'm pulling the hose in the back. He'll pump the front of this. He's got a string line right under the rebar. And this footing steps down about 5 times because of the elevation of the slope. You have to keep stepping it down. Here I am, just finished pumping that side up. I got my crew with me. Normally, a job like this, I'll just do it myself. But this thing's so steep, I had to have my whole crew there to do it. We're not laying any block today, so I got to get it when I get back from LA. But nobody will deliver it, so I got to borrow my friend's bobtail or mine and bring it up there 2 pallets at a time. It's about 5, 6 pallets. Here's truck number two. Here, got to keep it stiff because we're getting up the hill now. About the same. That's probably a 4.5. I just prime it out and bomb down it. See, it's pretty steep. There's a string line I'm just going right under, and then I could eyeball the rest of the footing on this side. But we pumped two trucks, 8 and 8, because that's all they'd bring. And I couldn't gauge how to measure this, how to get the cleanup. So I pumped two trucks, and then I washed out. And then I ordered a 3 yard cleanup for the other side. There's probably only 2.5, but I'm not going to come up short and bring another truck up this street because it's about an hour and 10 round trip to get out of the hill and then down on PCH. It's so crowded on Pacific Coast Highway. I only live two beaches over from Laguna Beach, and it takes like an hour to get here right up PCH. And I live off PCH in Huntington. That's how bad the traffic is and how congested this area is. This is a super affluent beach area. The houses range from about 3 million to about 20 million, and they're all on hills, slopes, all on caissons off cliffs and stuff. It's pretty crazy. It was a pretty cool city before it got so crowded, but now to get there and get out of there and get rebar there and get material there's kind of a nightmare. But I have caissons at this job, staircases, all kinds of stuff. So I just took it because it's about a 3 month job. We choked it off with plywood each step where it steps down so I could stack it on it. And then we'll just cut the plywood off at the bottom. That's where it steps down. So I'm going to the top of the plywood and the bottom of the other board. So we got to drag this. I need a whole crew with me because we gotta wash out, and then I'm gonna measure and see how much the cleanup is, how much we need. But just getting up this hill is no easy task. Here's Chuck. I think he's on load 2. I'm washing out here. Oh, that was load 1. Sorry. Oh, that was load 2. So we'll wash it out because I'm not going to hold a 4-inch slump for an hour and a half and worry about it and keep recirculating it because I can't get the hose back up to my pump to. I could, but I'd have to keep pumping it and recirculate it and then drag it back down. So I just washed it out, and I could take a hose off too, so make it a shorter run. You plug it on a downhill job like this, and you're in for a absolute nightmare. I've plugged up in Laguna Beach on 300-400 foot downhills. Downhill's actually harder to pump than uphill because it'll separate on you if you stop, and you'll sand pack up, and you'll have to beat the hose out on that slope and reclamp it full of concrete. It's not very easy to maneuver. I've done it. This is a 2500. I wasn't worried about fly ash. Fly ash isn't always the enemy. It depends. I know mixed designs better than anyone. I use it sometimes depending on what I'm doing. If I'm pumping a 4500 or anything like that on a hot day and you don't put fly ash in it, which it's got enough powder in it to cure out. If you don't, it's going to be like pumping peanut butter or bubble gum. It'll get so sticky that you're going to have a problem. So I put it in, depending what I'm doing. I know when it'll work and when it won't. You kind of got to know. It's just a coal byproduct, fly ash, that even when they tested Roman concrete, they had fly ash in it. So it's basically the same mix. It doesn't cause cracking, it doesn't cause any of that. It causes shading and flat work, and it's a problem. But if you pump a 3000 with fly ash and without, and you crush test it, it comes to the same strength. It's just a coal byproduct they use not to spend so much on the powder. So I washed out the second load. I got a 3 yard cleanup. Oh, I'm done here. Got to wind the whole system up, and we're just gonna flatten it out with a trowel, the footings, and have it ready for when I come back from LA. And then we're gonna stack the wall. It'll take us about 4 days to do the wall, and then I'll come back and grout it, fill the cylinders full of concrete. I'll pump it full, put all this away. Jefferson's helping me out, bring it up. Just starting to wrap it up here. It's hot. It's about 80 degrees, 82 degrees in October. It's just beautiful. I've been going to the water every day after work, and it's about 68 the water right now. It's about 80 the temperature. Here's a footing here. We just troweled it like light trowel over it to smooth it out. Next video I'll do, one of the videos coming up, so a retaining wall. I'll show you how to build it, how to get the step ups and all that. I have some Bobcat videos and stamp videos, colored, all that. Here it is right here. Here's the other side. You got to put plywood in or just run down the hill. Thank you very much for watching my video.